Hey there guys. So I've got to say I'm really looking forward to this upcoming Leigh Wood versus Mauricio Lara fight. I think it's going to be guaranteed entertainment while it lasts, and personally I don't see any way the fight goes the distance. So after the fight was announced, a lot of people on social media are favouring Mauricio Lara for the win. Mauricio Lara is going into the fight as the favourite. I think the bookies have him as the favourite, and a lot of people are thinking he's going to win by knockout. So I can see why people are picking Mauricio Lara to win the fight. Leigh Wood has shown his vulnerabilities before. He was stopped by Gavin McDonnell, and obviously in his last fight he was knocked down by Michael Conlan. And the shot he was knocked down by Michael Conlan was, it was pretty much a left hook, which was thrown from the waist, and Mauricio Lara likes to throw a lot of those hooks. And Leigh Wood has shown himself to be fairly chinny before, so I can see why people are picking Lara. And obviously he had the wins over Josh Warrington, the win over Josh Warrington, and a lot of people were impressed by that. For me personally, I've never seen Mauricio Lara as, I don't think he's as good as people think. For me personally, Josh Warrington went into that fight with a completely wrong game plan. Nordic Warrior made a good video on this recently, where he was talking about how Josh Warrington has abandoned his fundamentals, and he's just looking to get into a tear-up in all of his fights. And that's exactly what he did in that fight. There was no game plan from Josh Warrington. He just went in there and he just had a brawl with Mauricio Lara. And obviously that's the wrong game plan, because Josh Warrington doesn't have any power. He's only got 8 knockouts in 31 wins, and he's never shown himself to be a puncher. His fights almost always go the distance, and he barely scores any knockdowns. And obviously if you try and trade with a guy who's got a lot more power than you have, and whose style is a brawling style, then obviously it's not going to go well. And I'd imagine Josh Warrington just thought Mauricio Lara was going to be just some guy they brought over, who's going to fall down in 3 rounds just as an easy tick-over fight, before you got the Kanzu fight. So for me, I've watched Mauricio Lara's fights against Josh Warrington. I've seen his fight against San Martin, and I've seen his other fight, which happened earlier in 2022. So for me, Mauricio Lara, he's nothing special. I think all he is a come-forward brawler who's fairly slow. He's got pretty slow feet. He's got poor punching technique. He has no defense at all. Like, go and watch the first Josh Warrington fight. Those rounds were very competitive, and he was being hit a lot by Josh Warrington, and he was only getting away with it because Josh Warrington's not a puncher. I think Lara, he has got his vulnerabilities to the body, and I just don't think I describe him as limited but dangerous. He's a very limited fighter. He's not going to be able to fancy down around the ring and outbox anyone. All he can do is come forward and try and knock you out with wide hooks thrown with poor punching technique. And in my opinion, I think Leigh Wood at his best, I think he will outbox Mauricio Lara, and I think he will stop him. In the early rounds, Mauricio Lara will be very dangerous. Obviously he comes forward and he throws very powerful hooks, but Leigh Wood should be prepared for that, and he should keep his guard up. And as long as he doesn't try and trade with Mauricio Lara and he just tries to outbox him from the outside, he should be able to catch most of the hooks or just evade them. And as the fight goes on, I think Leigh Wood will probably progressively hit Lara more, because Leigh Wood is a very good counter puncher. He's very good at timing guys on the way in. We saw in this fight against Reece Mould, he timed Reece Mould on the way in the 9th round with a very good right hook, and he dropped him straight down to the canvas. So I think Mauricio Lara will be countered a lot in this fight, and I think Leigh Wood will get him out of there in the mid rounds, because Leigh Wood is a very big puncher, and I think Lara's defense is just too poor to last the distance against a puncher like that. I give Lara a puncher's chance against Leigh Wood, because Leigh Wood's fairly chinny, but I think the way this fight goes, I think Leigh Wood completely outboxes Mauricio Lara, and I think he will stop him. I think he'll stop him in the mid rounds, and yeah, I think it'll be quite an impressive performance from him. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and God bless.